My name is Kalyan Karmakar and I'm addicted to biryani. Well, jokes apart, I think the glee on my face when I was opening all these biryanis shows that how much I love biryani. I must say that if I was to look at a dish which I really, really love, it has to be the biryani. I must say that not all biryanis, because there are many, many types of biryanis in India, and I've had them in Kolkata, of course, when I grew up, Delhi. I've had biryanis in Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, and lots of places, Amritsar. Some biryanis I love, some not so much. And which is why when people ask me to recommend places to have a good biryani, I ask them what is the sort of biryani. Because what I've realized over the years is the sort of biryani which you've grown up on is the one which you tend to like even through your growing up years and your adult years. Unless, of course, it's the Calcutta biryani, which is, of course, the best. That's where I come from. But jokes apart, sometimes when I've introduced foreigners in my food walks to biryani or recommended to it, they do like the Calcutta biryani because it's slightly more mellow. Now, is it a biryani? Is a question which people in Mumbai ask, like people like Kurush Dalal and Kunal Vijaykar, proud Mumbai boys, big Mumbai biryani fans. They said that the biryani of Lucknow, from which the Kolkata's biryani set of originated, is actually a pulao, or as they say, or at least Kurush and even Kunal, palao. So, the way we pronounce the dish and the way this thing is very different. I had actually lived in Iran for a year, and my mom said that over there it's called polo. And recently on Twitter, I heard of a dish called biryan in Iran, which is not even a rice dish, so it's meat and rice and meat and roti. So it's interesting to see so many traditions, so many varieties. And I must say that while I'm very loyal to the Kolkata biryani, but I've also been away for 20 years from the city, I've tried various biryanis, but I think one of my favorites now is the Dampukht Awadhi biryani, which you get at various ITC hotels. So we normally have it when you're in ITC Maratha or ITC Maurya in Delhi or even ITC Shonar in Kolkata if I'm in the hotel. Because in the city, of course, I go out for the Kolkata biryanis. And it's the Awadhi style of biryani, the Lucknowi style, from which the Kolkata biryani is supposed to have come. And what I really like about the ITC version is the quality of the rice, the softness of the meat, and the texture of the spices, the slight sweetness which comes in from it, and the quality of the ghee used and everything, the matka in which it is served. And I've had some various other nice biryanis in ITC as well. One of them is the Serai biryani, which I first had at the ITC Grand Bharat at Manesar, and then more recently at the ITC Welcome Hotel at Saket. And it's supposed to be from a bit of a Delhi tradition, or tradition from the time of the Mughals, for warriors, for travelers, and so on. It's got a bit of a lime kick in it, which I really like. And in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, I actually have it here for you. So this is the Serai biryani. Serai, of course, comes from, what we'll call highways now. But these are the paths which the nomads and the soldiers would take and to travel. And I was first introduced to it in the Grand Bharat, and again recently when I was at the Saket before the lockdown in Delhi, and I really enjoyed it. What is all of this? So ITC has launched this collection which they call the Biryani and Pulao collection, and all of this is written over here in the cover. And I find it interesting because when I talk of the lockdown, for me it has really been, especially 2020, the year of the home chef. And in the initial months of the lockdown, it's really the home chefs who came into their own. But as the months went by, I saw the giants, in some cases chefs, in some cases restaurants, and in this case, the ITC hotel chain coming up with very interesting things. And it's not easy for big players to be nimble and come up with something new, but that's what ITC has done. And I believe that a lot of planning went into it before they came out. But what they've done is that while their Awadhi biryani is the most famous, in ITC from Dampukht, but they've taken out different biryanis and pulaus from different ITC hotels across the country, what they call local love in fact, and they have made offerings where it comes in these sort of paper containers. So there's a biryani, there's a salan or a raita which comes from it with it, and the gulab jamun. And this is then available for delivery through the hotel, through Zomato, through Swiggy, And the prices are very, very interesting. They're like in a very interesting range and compare quite favorably with what you get even in restaurants, but with the ITC quality. And so there are vegetarian options, vegetarian pulaus, there are chicken options, but I called in for tasting when they offered me 3 mutton ones because these are the ones which I've tried and really liked apart from the dum cooked one. So this is the Serai biryani which I was telling you about, which you also get at the ITC Grand Bharat and the Welcome Hotel Saket. And what raita did I call for this? Okay, I called with this the onion pachadi, which is more a South Indian sort of thing. I was trying out the different combinations, and so this was the Serai ki biryani, means highway. And then from Mumbai, I've got the Bori Gosht ka biryani, which is this one, and you get it in the ITC Grand Central Hotel. Is a part of the local love there because the ITC Grand Central is in central Mumbai, and that's an area where there are a lot of Parsis and Boris, central to South Mumbai. And you don't really get food of the Bori community too much except in weddings, and now there are few like delivery options. But if you have the Bori biryani at the Grand Central Bull at a la carte as well as buffet, it's fabulous. So what happens there is that the Boris had initially come to India from the Middle East and then via Gujarat to Mumbai, and before that even Yemen. So there's a lot of dry fruits in their food, so apricots and cashews and things like that, which is reflective of the culture, and they're very soft tender meat. And then this one also has potatoes, so that's something which I like as a Calcuttan. In fact, one assumes that only Calcutta has potatoes in their biryani, but it's not so. Because even the Mumbai biryani, which you get at Irani places like Lucky or Jafar Bhai and so on, have potatoes, and the Boris in their weddings, and even the Parsis in what they call palau dal, which you get during the wedding. So that also sometimes has potatoes. So this has that. And this is the third one, which is from home, from Sonar Bangla, which is not a pun because Sonar Bangla is what you refer to Bengal as, but which is also the hotel ITC Sonar Bangla, and now there is also the Royal Bengal. So this is the Metia Bruj biryani, so or Bruj, but the way we Bengali say is Metia Bruj. So Metia Bruj is where Wajid Ali Shah, when he moved into Delhi, when he moved into Calcutta with his court, had settled in over there. And of course, he's someone who was an epicure, loved his food, loved his arts, and he tried to recreate a mini Lucknow, so to speak, in Kolkata. And then with time, the biryani or the pulao from his courts went out into the city, and there are restaurants like Royal, which is one of the first to do the Awadhi biryani over there, and now there's Shiraz, Armenia, and all of that. So ITC does the Metia Bruj sort of thing, which was the one which you would probably get in the Nawab's court, and there were some additions which happened in Kolkata. So the potato was introduced, and there are different theories on that. One theory is that when the Nawab was a bit short of cash, when he was unsettled by the British, so potatoes were added in, like it is done all over middle class India. It is supplemented with the proteins. It's cheaper. But there are others who say that no, not that. He is a Nawab, so how would he do something like that? But in fact, potatoes at that time were quite an exotic vegetable because they'd come in through the Portuguese from South America to India. So in a way, potatoes then are a bit like maybe what broccoli was for us a few years back, or Brussels sprouts or artichokes. So it was an exotic vegetable. And then there is deem also, eggs. It's not always mandatory in a Calcutta biryani. If you go to a Calcutta Mughlai restaurant, then the basic biryani is just meat and rice and potato. The special one has eggs. So yeah, so as you can figure out, I can keep talking about biryani, and I told you about 3 of them: the Gosht Bori biryani from Mumbai, the Serai ke biryani, which is from the Delhi region, and then the Metia Bruj Kolkata biryani. And because this has a bit of a Awadhi court touch, so it also has a bit of birista on top, which is the fried onions and so on, which you will not get in the Mughlai restaurant. So it's interesting. The journey of biryani is very interesting because what had started as a royal dish, then as the sort of courts and kingdoms and everything began to crumble, they sort of moved into the city. So whether it's Lucknow, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and or even Delhi, and it became like a dish which unified the masses of India, so to speak, and it's there are restaurants where families go out to eat, and there's street food joints where you get biryani, and it's to me it's definitely a contender for the national dish of India. I know people will say that that could be the khichdi or it could be the dal rice or the dosa and so on, but in my books, biryani is the national dish of India, and I'm glad that ITC has taken this initiative to get their biryanis out into the out of their hotels and give a taste of their biryanis which they have from across the country in different cities. So which means that earlier you would have to travel to that city to try this thing. But look at this, in Mumbai we now have options for Delhi, we have options for the Mumbai one, of course, Kolkata, and there's more, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and so much more. So you can go up to this site and check it. And I think I'm going to now get all of this out and I'm going to start eating. I've called some friends over also, a friend over, and we're going to have all of this. And I'm going to get into biryani bliss right now. We had a bit of a biryani party last night, and a friend came over, and we there was lots of biryani, so we tried all of them one by one. My friend is Bengali, and she was leaving for Delhi, so she packed some, and she took the Metia Bruz one, of course. And today, then I took some of the Saraika biryani, and the Bori biryani had a bit more. There's more biryani rice, so there was lots of it. But then I had some of it for lunch today, and then I sort of caught up with someone whom it's a privilege to call my friend, Chef Manisha Bhasin, who's in Delhi. So as you can make out, she's in a much colder weather than I am. But it's so lovely to see you, Chef. I mean, your smile always lights up the room, or in this case, the screen. And by
Thank you,
Mumbai
Kalyan.
standards, it's a bit gray. It's a bit
Yeah,
gray, but
yeah.
it's warm. And so I met her a few years back when at that time she was the executive chef at the ITC Moria, and she took me on out on a walk to her old haunts of Khan Market, and and the child in her came out when she had the eclair.
Yeah. At the Bengals.
Lots and lots of memories. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure you've had the finest of pastry and worked on the finest of pastry, but that smile on your face was precious that day. And she's a Delhi girl, and I remember at that time when I asked Chef Manisha that how does it feel to be a woman chef at such a senior position in such a big hotel and so rare. I remember what she said to me. She said that when I enter the kitchen, my role is that of a chef. Then it's not whether I'm a male, woman, female, or anything like that. So thank you. It's lovely to have you on board, Chef Manisha. She's now in a corporate role now with ITC Hotels, right?
That's right. That's right, Kalyan. Yeah.
And you were one of the people who played an integral role in the biryani and pulao project, so to speak.
Yeah, all of us, the team work together, but yes,
And are you a biryani lover?
absolutely. Absolutely. It's the most comfort food that I go to when, whenever you either have a get together or you just want to have, that's one meal that satisfies you completely. Absolutely.
So how's that for job satisfaction? I mean, if you are a biryani lover and you get a project to work on biryanis and pulaus, but I agree with you. For me, it's all about satisfaction.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting because then you kind of delve into various other genres of biryani, and when we thought of coming with this program, we already had a lot of data with us, a lot of biryanis which we have been testing and trying in our banquets, especially at the ITC Moria, because and only in Dampooks we could give as many. You can't really have just a biryani menu in a restaurant, specialty restaurant like Dampuk. So there was a hidden jewels which were hidden there, which were never showcased except in banquets. So when this project came around, we had already existing biryani which we just wanted to bring forward, and we tried to make sure that there is an equal regional representation in that menu.
So that's a very important point which you made, which is that of regional representation, because people get very caught up about the best biryani, and even I have a strong point of view on what are my favorites. But I've come to realize over time that all the biryanis are so different, and they each have their fans depending on what one has grown up on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
uh, and
So it's all about nostalgia, Kalyan. Food is
yes,
all about nostalgia. Food is all about experience. I mean, let's go back to the eclair example that you just took. I may have had the best pastries and maybe far, far, far superior than perhaps that eclair of this particular outlet. But it's the nostalgia and the memories which you relate to. So
true.
that's why the regional biryani is what you have grown up eating in your own home's atmosphere. And then you have that later in today's life when people really don't cook as much as they would like earlier they would. So it's also connect you have with people. That's
And
why,
it's also a dish which you do not make at home that much. So when the lockdown started, and the first few months of the lockdown, and we've come a long way since then. But if you remember that time, uh, most restaurants and hotels were shut because that was part of the lockdown. So you could not even order in. Uh,
yeah,
Domestic help was not there, so it was you were left to your cooking skills.
true.
And biryani is a dish which I love, but I don't cook. And also, it's not a dish which you can make in small measures. So in my house, it's only I who eat. My wife doesn't eat rice, and we were not
Okay.
even meeting as friends. So I remember when one finally had access to biryani, like for example, when the ITC started the gourmet couch and the Awadhi biryani,
Yes.
one had an access to it. It brought so much joy, and we've
Yeah.
grown up eating biryani.
True. True.
Some of these biryanis were also part of your local love, right? Because I have come across some of these biryani, especially the ones which I ordered yesterday,
Yeah.
in local love menus at the various pavilions, like Eden Pavilion,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
so some were from the some were from the banquets, and uh,
So some are from the banquets and some are from local love. Absolutely, you're right. Local love program is something we started few years ago, but prior to that, it was in banquets that was being served. So even if you look at Sarai Ki Biryani, it is part of the
yes,
Helvi menu, which was started with banquets, but eventually found its way in the local love menu at the Sheraton New Delhi. So similarly, Bori biryani, similarly, all these biryanis were earlier offered in banquets, and banquet is
mm,
a playground actually where you can uh, explore different cuisines. Actually, that gives you a lot of leeway there because when you want to showcase a new cuisine to a guest or any other function, that is where you have your creativity also coming about.
yes. In fact, I must share 2 points with you. One is about banquets. So whenever one attends an event at a ITC hotel, not necessarily a food related, sometimes could be a wedding, sometimes a corporate thing, nothing
Yeah.
related to food, and there are various dishes in the banquet. You will almost every time find a biryani, and you know that it's very bankable. I mean, there will be various other things like the dal or the meat, sometimes some Western or Asian things, but there will always be the biryani. One is that, and two is funny you mentioned comfort and also Serai biryani. So the first time I had it was at the Grand Bharat in the trip I met you at
Yeah. Yes.
but last year, I had stayed at the ITC Saket, Sheraton Saket, and it was a very crazy trip because I reached Delhi and then I had to go to Greater Noida to speak at a India hospitality function where I bumped into Chef Manjeet Gill also at that point. So I came from the airport, checked into the hotel, then went to Greater Noida, then came back, and there was a lot of traffic. So I had plans of meeting my niece and brother and sister-in-law, but I was so haggard and tired. And then I figured out that Chef Gaurav Lavania was at Sheraton at that point, and I knew him from the ITC days.
Okay.
So he said, "What will you have?" So I said, "Look, I'm very tired. I don't want to go down." So in the room, a nice, dum-cooked Awadhi biryani would be fabulous. So he said, "Look, we don't have the Awadhi biryani here in this particular hotel, but we have the Saraika biryani or the Delavi biryani, like he called it."
Yeah.
And he
Yes.
sent it to the room. So there was, and of course, we caught up, and there was a matka. So I took a bit, and I said, "Okay, now I'll portion control. Okay, thoda sa aur, thoda sa aur." So I had no control with a biryani which I liked. So I finished it, so which is why I ordered that yesterday as well. And then the next day at the event, which is the Culinary Culture event, there was the biryani and in the big dig. And I remember
Yeah.
the gentleman serving it was dressed as if he was in old Delhi. So the
Okay.
green cap and all of that. One more thing I must tell you about local love. That I was introduced to the concept, I think, when I was at the Maurya. But since then I've experienced it at the various ITC hotels when I've stayed, and I'm really surprised by the sort of resonance with regional, local, home sort of feels which come in. And I'll give you two examples, completely unrelated to biryani. 2020, just before the lockdown, I had gone to Jaipur, and I was staying at the ITC Rajputana. We'd gone on a different project, and in the morning, I requested the chef if I can have a piyaz kachori for breakfast. And I've had the one at Rawat, I've had the street corner ones
Yeah,
in
yes.
Jaipur. What struck me about the piyaz ka kachori, which I had in the breakfast that morning before I rushed off to Samod, was that, it had a very home-like feel. Now, I've not had piyaz ka kachori in a Rajasthani's home, but the thing is that you can always make out when food is home-like. So
Yeah.
one was that, and recently in December 2020, we stayed at the Maratha, as a staycation.
Yeah.
And the first breakfast I had to have an eggs Benedict because whole of lockdown I hadn't had one. Next day I said I'll have some local loves, poha and puri bhaji. And then Chef Nikhil Merchant also put in the vada pav. So
Hmm.
I went for the vada pav first. I've been in Bombay for 20 years. Not all Bengalis are, but I'm a big vada pav fan. And when I took a bite into it, it transported me to the street corner places of Dadar, Parel, Fort, things like that. And I think it's really fabulous. And earlier I didn't believe that a luxury hotel could do it. And I went on record on my blog saying that. But I don't know whether it's a change in mindset of the way the chefs look at it, or maybe
Oh,
I
so
got to.
local, yeah. So coming to the local love, where you've had a great experience. When we put the local love menu in each location, for example, in Maratha, you had the very Maharashtrian or Bombay way of having local love, or Delhi for that matter, or Jaipur,
Or
the
Calcutta.
or
Calcutta, where
Calcutta.
the Bengali.
So the cooks who are making this food are are specialists in that. For example, if you have chole bhature in Delhi, we have the best halwai in our system, and he's the one who makes the chole bhature. So you'll get the exact taste that you would get perhaps at
Yes.
the best place in Delhi of the chole bhature. Similarly, the kachori in Rajasthan. Similarly, perhaps the vada pav in Bombay. So we ensured. So local love is, it has to resonate with the local flavor. Then that was the whole idea of
Yes.
putting local love on the menu, not to make it very. How should I do cosmetic changes in it,
Yeah.
or make it look very five-starish or hotel like for that matter. We wanted guests to experience the local cuisine. So in fact, in Delhi, we do in a local tiffin, if you would have
Yes.
experienced that. So it comes in a Delhi tiffin. So that's how the service of the whole experience is that
I had
like
the
that.
mutton curry. I had the Old Delhi mutton curry at
Yeah, it came in that
the
dabba.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So even the ingredients are sourced. So kala masala, for example, in chana would be from the best place in Old Delhi. That is
Hmm.
how we source the supplies also for this local love menu. Hence the experience that you have experienced. Thank you for that.
No, but it's very true. Like every time, and especially when I go to Calcutta, with Shonar or Royal Bengal, I make it a point to have the luchi or the kochuri or the pitai
Yeah.
parota. And there are times when sometimes the chefs surprise me with, like for example, once I went into the city carrying a bad stomach from another city, and the chef made me a doi kola chire, which is like chura, dahi,
Yeah.
something which my mom would love as a kid, and I had never touched before that. But he made it, and I quite enjoyed it. Okay, now coming back to biryani, and more than
Yeah.
biryani, this particular project of the ITC hotel. Now when the lockdown started, there was for obvious reasons a sense of disheartenment among everyone, despondency, and we were
Yeah.
all worried. And I mean, for obvious reasons, a lot of things shut down, a lot of businesses suffered. But with time, I mean, the human spirit is very resilient. So with time, I saw sparks of turnaround happening, and this was often led by individuals. So, for example, the home chefs in Mumbai, like,
Yeah.
were not even into this thing. They did dramatic stuff. There were some individual chefs who like started initiatives, small restaurants. Sorry. But when it comes to a large corporate, I mean, not just a hotel, a large corporate, this thing, it is not that easy because traditionally there are various things which go against it. I mean, one is many large systems, a proven way of doing things and having to change that. Then many people involved. and across the country in your case, and a very big country and a very diverse country. But often when it comes to something like this, I believe that it's a strong driving philosophy, sometimes individual, sometimes philosophy, which lies at the heart of it. So could you take us a bit through, like, what was the thinking behind this process? From
So yeah,
one
sure.
dark day, how did you start?
Yeah, so when we started talking about it, and we realized that biryani was the most fastest moving and most frequently ordered dish across all the portals. And since ITC was known for its biryani, and here we had a great repertoire which we had not been able to showcase to a guest earlier. Like I said, there is always a challenge to put one biryani menu in a restaurant, which really is not practical also. So felt there's an opportunity to take our biryanis to the market, and we wanted to showcase that. And we stayed away from Damput because Damput already has
Yeah.
been sampled and tasted by people, and we also at the same time wanted it to be accessible to larger sect of people. That's why if you see the pricing also has been pretty pocket friendly, if I use
Yes,
that
very,
word.
very,
So we really thought through the whole thing. We thought through the
very
packaging. We
comfortable.
thought through how it would come. We realized that there is a office crowd who may like to order biryani. Hence, the packaging is that you can dispose it off easily, and not sending it in a matka that you're sitting on your desk.
Hmm,
Then you're wondering what to do with the matka. Then
true.
you just trash it. You put it in a trash can. It's done and over with. So that was all that's a thought through, and of course, it comes with its own accompaniments and stuff like that. Uh, Coming next to the biryani repertoire, then we of course connected with all the chefs across pan India and asked them to give their best recipes and give their best most moving, that like you've seen the Matia Burj now there, and Sarai ki biryani and Buri biryani there, and
And
from the
then
south we have Kodi
vegetarian and the
pulao.
chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have equal sprinkling from across the region. So then each chef of course did their own standardization, and we also had to come at par with across the hotels so that you get the same flavor whether you order in Delhi or
Yes.
Mumbai or Calcutta or in Bangalore sitting there. So then of course the standard recipes with visuals were done. There was online training which happened, so it was multiple back ending which had to take place, which took 3 to 4 months for us to get it right.
3 to 4 months, and a lot of detailing. Like, for example,
Yeah,
when I got the packs, then in the pack there were 3-4 line descriptions, which in your restaurants, yeah, your the front of staff would come and tell the
that's
guests.
right.
But in 3-4 lines, you explain that, okay, this is who the bodies are. This is
Yeah.
what this thing is, and also that disposal packaging is good because it's just brings the cost under control. It's, and at the same time it's environment friendly.
Yeah.
I think all these things are things which are
Yeah.
important. Getting the
So what
standardization must have been tough, right? Like with, so is it currently the 4 cities which you mentioned where it's
we have
available?
6 cities. It is in six
6 cities.
cities: Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Mumbai.
In
And
fact,
10 hotels.
a
10
friend of mine
hotels
from
participating. Sorry.
a friend of mine from Bangalore, she saw it and she said that Bengali again. She's very excited and they've been ordering the Metia Brews
Okay.
biryani.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, that's become a crowd favorite.
That's
I
become
think.
a favorite. Absolutely.
I mean,
We
see,
had.
we Bengalis have always maintained that that's the best biryani.
So we sent our chefs in Calcutta. I sent them, maybe I think repeatedly, I sent them to various famous outlets in Calcutta itself and try the Matia Burj. And I said, okay, now of course, online on Zoom really can't know, you really don't know the flavor, but then we
And you
replicated
couldn't
in
travel
Delhi,
also.
and one
You couldn't
can't
travel
travel
also.
also. So we perfected it. Then that's how we moved on that. Yeah.
I have one question. It's more like a Calcuttan question. It's not a this thing. Was there a conscious reason why the Birista and bit of mint leaves and all those on the Methia Brews one? Because the Calcutta local eatery Mughlai restaurants will not have Birista, right? Maybe at home.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you repeat that question? I had to just jump
Yeah.
out that time.
So, one thing I was asking Chef Manisha is that when one thinks of the eateries of Kolkata, the Mughlai restaurants, the Shirazes, Aminias, and all of them, they normally don't put birista, the fried onion, and the mint leaf and all that. Well, there was a little bit of that on your Metia Brews. So, any reason for that?
No, we actually did. We did try the Matia Bhoj, which is available in the restaurants locally, and we wanted to actually make it little more sophisticated than what is being served. But even if you compare the flavor, they are very very different. The ingredients rather, not the flavor. The ingredients are being
Hmm.
used are very different from what is available in the restaurants. So the
Hmm.
quality of ingredient would speak for itself, and we wanted to differentiate a bit more. Yes, that's why we use the
True.
fried onion and the mint leaf. Yeah,
And even the rice is different. The quality of the
yeah,
meat
it's
is
different. It's a
different.
different market we are playing in. There is no comparison. Everyone has plays in their own market.
No,
So,
and I
but
have a
we want
feeling, I have a feeling that if one had the opportunity of being invited to the house of, say, a Muslim family in Kolkata or something like that, maybe their biryanis in any case would be a touch different from what you get in a restaurant. So,
absolutely,
I mean, there's a bit of leeway to that. Now, one
yeah.
question which I want to ask is that it was a big change for ITC to first of all to take one dish, which was the biryani, and he told us why you chose that, and to take it out at a pricing which is so different from what you folks worked out in the past. Different formats, so not the matka, not the porcelain, things like that. So there must have been a bit of I don't know, like either self doubt at an organization level about doing that. So, how did you people sort of get the, I don't know, courage, confidence, determination to go ahead?
So we did a lot of trials, Kalyan. Of course, we started with the handi also, but then when it came to we were doing the trials in the Green Center. So when it came in a handi, we realized in an office scenario it would be so cumbersome to handle these things, and of course we got guided a lot by Mr. Nakulanand and Mr. Anil Chadda. So collectively, then when you take a decision, lot of paradigm, lot of preconceived thinking got changed actually. We need to
Hmm.
think out of the box. We need to be practical. We need to, of course, at the same time make sure the quality does not suffer. So we did umpteen number of trials. Almost for a month, I think I was having biryani for lunch day after day after day. And we would kind of heat it up in the office scenario and see how it would hold. It will travel for half an hour. It reaches you. You hold it for 5 minutes, then you reheat, and then you see how it tastes. So there was not much of a difference between a handi and a box.
Hmm.
So that made us realize that yes, it is okay to serve it in a corrugated box also. Any which way, the guest would be heating it at home when he orders this biryani. Because in Matka also, after half an hour,
That's true.
45 minutes, it would not hold as piping hot as it would be in a restaurant scenario.
And often there are times when you have it a bit later. You don't immediately
Yeah.
have
The
the
immediately it comes, you really don't put on the table. You will anyway
yes,
reheating it. So
yes,
and
yes.
you would reheat in a microwave. So the corrugated packaging worked wonderfully well. So that was one mindset that I would use the word mindset which I had. It got
I
changed
totally agree.
because we have grown up seeing biryani in a handi, and this was a total change. And I'm glad that we did this experiment and came out successfully.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, like when one grew up in Kolkata, and even now, I remember even in recent years when I've packed biryani from Mughlai restaurants, they actually give it in the sort of paper box which is mithais and the Calcutta Mishti, which is not the hard paper box, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yes.
the flimsy
Patla
one.
ka.
Yeah. Then if you come to Mumbai, then it's given in plastic, and with a raita gets hot and all that. So actually, what you've done is you've sort of upgraded all these ways, and it's a very practical way of
Yeah,
doing it. As I was listening to you, there were two, three things which I took out of it, and let me try to recount because the idea of this chat is also, I think, to give a bit of direction and inspiration for all of us who are looking at, wondering what to do during the lockdown and now the pandemic, and many people have to restart the way of thinking. So one I got out of it was I think that the leadership and the top management support to this because I think that's important. Two
absolutely.
is I think I think the way you all worked in a very unified manner because you spoke about like the chefs in the different hotels, then sending in the recipes, then the chefs in the home hotels trying to do the standardization and working it. And the third is I don't know whether it's trial or error, but maybe research. But basically, like or maybe trying to perfect the process. Like you said, you took 3-4 months from start to finish to process perfect
Yeah.
the process. I think these are some of the things which I got out of it. But before I end the chat, um, you know, as someone who's been a professional and in hotel industry, for so many years at this thing, and you've seen many highs and lows, and this has of course been an unprecedented situation, the lockdown. Um, any sort of learnings which you had over dealing with these 10 months as an individual, as a senior professional in an organization, which you'd like to share with us, which can give us some sort of direction?
I think what I would like to say is that you needed to reboot and restart again when this happened. Actually, you had to think through the whole thing. I remember in March when this discussion started happening about the takeaway, initial reaction of no, how can we do it? But then you need to be very practical and see what the market is and what market you're going to play in the times to come. One was thinking this would just go away in 2-3 months, or maybe at most 6 months. But then as the time progressed, you realize that it's here for some time. So, and you needed to, of course, find different means to uh, get the business going. So that's why I'm saying you need to reboot and reinvent and rethink and come up with various options how you can continue evolving yourself. So for me, greatest learning was that you had to let your old ideas or old thinking, uh, you had to reinvent yourself completely. Like you said, it's never happened before, and I think none of us have been through this. So it was a learning for all of us, including the teams which were working on the shop floor. So yeah, it's a great learning for all of us. That's all I'll say.
I think that's an absolute pearl of wisdom from someone who's seen so much at work in life, and I was thinking about it as you said, because we often tend to sort of hold on to ways of thinking, doing things which worked out, and we feel flustered if we have to redo or reorient ourselves. But
Yeah.
reboot yourself is the mantra from Shesh Manisha Bhasin of the ITC hotels, and you can chew on that while ordering a biryani or pulao of your choice. I think I've got some more, so I don't know whether I'll have some at tea or dinner. But like you, Chef Manisha, I'm very
Thank you.
happy to have biryani every day. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking the time out and for taking us through this wonderful journey and sharing with us the process. It's a fantastic case study. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Stay
Kalyan.
safe
Thank you.
and stay warm. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.